Nope. There you go. Hello, YouTube. Good to have you along here this morning. Just finishing up some text messages here and whatnot. So there we go. Hopefully it's coming in loud and clear. Todd, let me know, please, buddy. Appreciate it. And you have silenced your notifications. Thank you. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Good. Well, if you're watching this as a rerun, you can skip ahead roughly 14, 15 minutes. We'll get to it. Just getting on here a little bit early. You bet, Todd, I can do that. 6:53 on Mark. 6:53. Morning, Waylon Turnus. You're welcome, buddy. You're welcome. Dave from Minnesota. Thanks, Dave. Hopefully everything's going well out that side of things. Oh, well, folks, let's see. Another branding. I had a branding yesterday. Actually, really good branding. Used my backup horse, which did so damn good. I think it's actually going to be turning into my main horse. Hate to say that. But man, he did a good job. Big Daddy Dave, morning. Sunny capital city of Pierce, South Dakota. I think I'm headed to the hills next week, and my show is going to be probably, if you're listening to the stations, good chance it's going to be done remotely next weekend, which really doesn't change things for you a whole lot, but we'll see. So if anybody in the Black Hills, South Dakota listening, watching, you want somebody to crash your place at 7 in the morning, let me know. Here's to you. Happy June. You are correct, Todd. My show is remote every weekend. Yeah, that's true. Morning, Eric. I'm good. How's everything down your way? Everything's just rolling along here. Crossing our fingers we get moisture here tomorrow and Monday. According to the Weather Channel, we're supposed to get a shot of rain here. Let's see what's going on. I talk about you every Tuesday with Dr. Ted. Ivermectin in the morning. Did not name. Yeah. I do it once a week. You know, I how long have I been doing this? Good grief. I don't know. It's got to be over a year and a half now, isn't it? Anyway, yeah, ivermectin in the morning on Saturday morning. So, oh, he supports it. Okay, cool. And not only that, Todd. Yesterday, laying in the grass, waiting for the wrestling crew to show up, and we're eating a little lunch, drinking a beer, and the 4 guys that were sitting there with me, 3 of them had ticks crawling on them, and I did not. So I don't know. I think it's a good thing, even if it's that. Yeah, Eric, I help you, bud. I hear you loud and clear. Hopefully days get better for you, man. Hopefully they do. All right, so what the hell have I got going on here? It saved his ass. He claimed he sent 50 plus. Really? Cool. Well, Todd, if they want somebody that's been taking it as consistently for quite some time to know if there's any health defects besides the only thing it didn't do. So here's one thing it did not do is the Thursday night, Dixie and I went out into the pines and we sat and watched the sunset. I know it sounds, I'm going to say romantic, but to some people it might not. But the gnats were so incredibly thick And if you can see around my head here, right on the sweatband of where my cowboy hat was, I got eaten up bad. So ivermectin does not do anything for gnats. All right, at all. I got chewed up and it's bad. It's like I have like severe, like seventh, eighth grade acne on my hat band here. So I got that going for me, which is nice. I call them G-Nats, but I don't know. Yeah, they were bad. It did. Yes, ivermectin turned me gray in the last year. I know everybody's giving me such a hard time about holy cow, and like from like a year or two ago to now, you really got gray. That is absolutely true. But they say that when you get gray, you become more wise and educated, and everything else that I'm going to lie about here, whether you like it or not. Let me call up Daryl here. I'm sure he'd like to get in on this conversation. Where are we? Where are we? Come on. There it is. Do you know the number that pays to play? Dial it right now. What's going on?
Thanks for calling. I am unable to take your call right now, so please leave a message.
Say what?
At the tone, please record your message. When you have finished
Is he
recording,
ducking out on
you may
me?
hang up or press 1 for more options.
Daryl? Is that you? Answer your phone, buddy. Is it going to be open line Saturday? Who knows? 7 o'clock, 7:00, 8 o'clock here in 27 seconds. Oh, Daryl, come on, man. I know he's got the German bull sale today. I know that. I know that. So maybe he's on the road. Excuse me. It's acting weird, though. It's like doesn't even ring.
Thanks for calling. I am unable to take your call right now.
I'm going to call him on my cell. There it rings. Weird. Still goes to voicemail. Well, we'll give her a shot and see what happens in a little bit. Morning, Karen. Good to have you along here this morning. Well, we'll see what happens here. I better make sure I got this ready to go. Yep. Turning me gray. Ivermectin has turned me gray. Wonder if that's a side effect in it. Let's see. Good stuff. Good stuff. uh, I ask myself, why wouldn't it be? Why not? Why not? Right? Why not? Why not?
Hello.
There you are. Good morning.
Morning.
How are you today?
Yeah, I'm down here. I'm down here in the land of lost already at German. So the service, I had to find the right hill to stand on.
Oh, I figured you would be down there already. Derek called me yesterday. He's like, "Hey, can you come ring?" I'm like, "You seriously only called me one day before your sale? Come on, Derek." Oh, but I won't be there for you, man. I got a branding.
A branding?
Yep.
Them happen every day.
I know, but I have to pay back the help that people came and helped me. Or at least I feel obligated to do that.
Yeah.
We're on YouTube, by the way. About 2.5 minutes to showtime.
Okay.
So yeah, cool. I've been taking ivermectin every Saturday morning on YouTube.
Yeah.
I think I've been doing this like a year and a half already. And I don't get ticks, but the gnats just ate me up the other night. I got right around my sweatband and my cowboy hat here. I got eaten up so bad it looks like I have 8th grade acne going on. But Todd says that he talks to a doctor every once in a while in the cafe up there about ivermectin and how they promote it. He said Todd said the only thing that hurt me is it made me in the last year and a half turn really gray. So I guess that's true.
Oh. Turn gray, huh?
I guess. Like surprisingly white. Yeah.
Yeah, so that might be just something to do with age.
Age, stress, a drought into spring snowstorms, into yeah. There's been a few things, but that's okay. The USDA is going to save us with $125 a calf. We're good. It's all good.
Yeah, well.
Oh, 60 seconds.
And they got that the relief payments coming out, for all the grain growers out there. It's like, what a waste of money. They're sending money out. I mean, yeah, there was a drought. There's people affected, but the crop insurance took care of them all. And now they're sending another $6 billion to less than 250,000 producers.
Mm-hmm. And another $700 million to study sustainable. Okay, stand by. We're going to come up shortly here. 10 seconds, stations, 10 seconds. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Saturday edition of Dakota Prairie Outdoors. Heard all across the Dakota Territory. KGFX in Pierre, South Dakota. KOLY in Mobridge, South Dakota. KFYR, Bismarck, Mandan, North Dakota. KCJB in Minot. And also KLTC Dickinson. We're all the way through the Dakota Territory around the world. You can find me on my YouTube channel, streaming live right now at Dakota Prairie Outdoors Radio. Please subscribe to that station. Coming up today, a lot of things. I'll be at a branding as soon as I get off of the air here. My guest, the president of the North Dakota Farm Bureau, Daryl Lease, is the auctioneer for the German Bull Sale. Mr. Lease, good morning.
Good morning. I come down to this part of the country, and I'm standing out here right now on a hill trying to make sure I keep service, and it's sprinkling on me down here. This has not happened in this country when I've been here for a lot of years.
I will tell you this right now. You just enjoy that rain on top of your head if that's what's happening here, because we need it. And
Oh yeah.
with the wind that we've been having this year, I sent a study that says that in the Dakota Territory, at least the western half of the Dakotas, it is claimed that it has been the windiest, consistent winds over 30 miles an hour since the 30s, is what I've read
Yeah.
at one time. So I don't know if that's true or not, but it's something. There's no doubt about it. Hey, before we get going here, I have to remind you. Now, South Dakota High School Rodeo Finals, they need to get in touch with me because I'd love to help with their shooting sports too. But the North Dakota side has been held in Bowman, right just north of the South Dakota border for so many years, like over 30 some years now. And I passed the baton on Daryl as the guy in charge of the shooting sports for the high school rodeo finals. But I'm still the sponsor. I sponsor guns for the first place winners. They still get buckles, I believe, but this year, some pretty cool old style lever action looking pistol, or kind of a pistol rifle. Can be used as both, really, if you wanted to. So that's coming up starting next week already, June 8th through the 12th. And I believe the shooting sports is on the 8th. So there you go. That's what's happening around the areas in and we have a lot of people from like Lemon, South Dakota competing because they're right on that border edge, and
Right.
Hardin County, and even on the Montana side. I mean, we have a lot of those kids that they flirt with both borders. So watch for them. It's pretty cool. So yeah. So how you been, Daryl?
I've been well. It's and that's I just want to expand a little bit on what you just pointed out there about that shooting sports aspect of that high school rodeo. And that's becoming more and more a part of a lot of different aspects of youth events. And I mean, what a great thing, because of that, the responsibility that it teaches, the respect for the use of that firearm. I mean, that's where we need to go.
Yeah.
That is part of the solution with all the problems we got going on with people that, want to go in and shoot places up. It's a lack of respect for life. It's a lack of respect for what can happen when you don't use these things correctly, and all these things that we can do to expose young folks to the proper, responsible care and handling for them, the respect for life. That's all good stuff.
Yeah. So I didn't plan on talking about this, but now let's talk about this. Okay, that shooting in Uvalde, which I've been to Uvalde, Texas. That's where we went down and hog hunted. I took my father-in-law, and Jesse Flath was with. What a nice little community. Very nice little town. And it's too bad what happened. But respect, and I think it starts with the parenting a little bit. Now, it's hard for me to say this, Daryl, because I don't have kids. And everybody looks at me and says, well, Scott, you don't know how it is. Okay, I get it. Okay. But yesterday at the Burke branding, I was talking with a young gentleman that's going to be a freshman. And I said, so what's going on in schools? I said, I hear about these different things and called furries. Have you heard what a furry is, Daryl?
Yeah, I have.
Okay, these kids that think that they're cats or something. Most of them think they're cats. And now there's schools like up in Minot, they have to have like litter boxes for them. And what's going on with this? I mean, this is the problem that I'm seeing with the parenting side going, why do you let your kids do this?
Well, and so there's been a lot of talk that there's been litter boxes and that, and I haven't been able to verify that aspect of it, but I know for a fact that we have kids walking around with ears on and tails and things like that, and they'll actually sit and lick themselves like a cat. There's even instances where they will groom each other, and I'm just sitting here going,
we called that making out when I was in high school.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's, I mean, I sit here and I go, and then the parents get upset if the school doesn't allow this to go on. And I'm like, you're the problem.
Yeah.
You raised a human child. You did not raise a kitten. There is a difference. Yeah. You should teach your kid that. You should but there it comes back, Scott, to what I said. Respect for life.
Yeah.
And part of the respect for life is identifying that we have different species. We have different responsibilities within those species. We have different abilities. We have different reasoning capabilities. We're supposed to anyways. I wonder anymore. But there is part of that respect is understanding that. I don't know where we have fallen off our rocker in this country to think, well, part of this is, Scott, let's be honest about it, goes back to the whole animal rights movement.
Yep.
And animals are supposed to be like people.
I was just hoping you'd tie that together because I was going to bring it up.
So how do we, we've had this incrementalism moving that way to normalize animals as humans. So we really shouldn't be surprised that we're here, I guess.
Okay. So I'm getting a lot of text messages on this right now.
I could hear you dinging.
Yeah. And YouTube message. So Jamie Breck says there's furries out at my daughter's schools. I told them to bark at them. Hold on. Jesse says this is what happens when they push anti-bully agendas. Some things you deserve to get bullied. So Jesse, here's my theory on bullying. I think bullying is through words. Something like this, I think it just needs to come down to an old scrap. I mean, I remember being in elementary school, Leahy Elementary, south of Raleigh, middle of nowhere, right? And Dan and Don Miller and myself, and we had a little scrap. And we came in, and the teacher said, it ain't over, and made us go out and finish the scrap. You know what I mean? And we figured it out. Now we're lifelong friends, right? Waylon Turnus is one of Cash's friends, barked at one of them because he got hissed at, and then he got in trouble. Now, up in Minot, some of the people that barked at some of the furries that thought they were cats actually got expelled until they went back and they said, but we identify as dogs. So if you're going to have cats in the school, we're going to be dogs. And the school board had to let them back into school because, I mean, where's it going to end? We're up against a break here shortly, but when it gets to this point of we have to make room for everybody except the normal people. And I'm going to say that because I'm sorry. If you think you're a cat, you're not normal. I don't know where you're going to go from this.
Yeah, and we wonder. So let's tie this all back together, Scott. We wonder why we have bad things happening within schools.
Exactly.
We have a mental health thing that's being promoted. We have mental health issues that are being promoted to extend instead of promoting the cure and the resolution to these issues.
Yeah. Well, we'll talk more about this and touch it. There's a couple more text messages that are coming in. We'll cover that. Daryl is my guest here today from the North Dakota Farm Bureau, also the president of it too, and auctioning at Gurman's Bull Sale today. More coming up your way after these messages. Western Frontier Insurance. Agents that understand you, your needs, and the community. Whether you're looking for coverage on your farm, ranch, home, or auto, you can trust that Western Frontier Insurance will find you a combination of price and coverage that works for you. No fancy jingles, no talking boxes or animals, just good neighbors helping to keep you covered. Western Frontier Insurance. Offices in Hazen, Washburn, and Wilton. Rockin' 7W has all the panels you need. Freestanding panels, windbreak panels, feeder panels, and the original protester panel. If you don't know what that is, it's a sort panel that makes sorting calves from a cow a breeze. You can do it in a fraction of time with just one person on foot or horseback. You can custom order sizes to fit your current operation, or you can start from scratch. Rockin' 7W also does trailer repair on any size trailers, mobile welding, and custom cattle hauling. Call Justin at Rockin' 7W at 701-206-1030. That's 701-206-1030. Rockin' 7W, the farmer and rancher's go-to guy.
Pifer's Western team of Andy Murdoch and Jim Sabby would like to invite you to sit down and talk about the future of land planning. Whether you're looking at selling, buying, or options to hand it down to the next generation, Andy and Jim will lay out all of the options for you. It's a great time to buy or sell, and with interest rates to make it profitable. Pifer's Western team, Andy Murdoch and Jim Sabby. For more information or land updates, go to pifers.com.
Our outdoor heritage is important to North Dakotans, and the state's oil and natural gas industry is advancing the possibilities for conservation. The North Dakota Outdoor Heritage Fund receives up to $40 million per biennium from oil and natural gas taxes. The industry is reclaiming land for future generations, and it's developing our state's natural resources in harmony with our great outdoors and wildlife. North Dakota Oil and Natural Gas, advancing the possibilities. Brought to you by the North Dakota Petroleum Foundation.
it's every American's right to bear arms. At Mandan Sporting Goods, we're here to help you support your Second Amendment rights, which reads, a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Whether you're looking for a pistol for personal defense or collector gun, we have the staff to help you. We also have the area's largest inventory of ammo and reloading supplies.
Mandan Sporting Goods, the area's local gun and ammo specialists.
When it comes to picking the right financial institution that best suits your unique banking needs, we invite you to come bank with Dakota Community Bank and Trust. Recently named North Dakota's best small bank and Newsweek's America's Best Banks in 2021, we believe that community banking can blend both the past with down-home customer service and the future with modern banking conveniences and technology for our online and mobile customers, all while honoring our long-standing tradition of community-first oriented banking. Here at Dakota Community Bank and Trust.
MoPro Guide Service, the best on Lake Oahe. Brent and his staff will give you the most enjoyable fishing experience, always having the latest in electronics, gear, and the most comfortable Lund boat on the water. Fish with somebody who lives in Mobridge, South Dakota, the heart of Lake Oahe. If you need a place to stay, the Mo Rest Motel has newly updated rooms with free internet, a family-owned and operated business. Go to OaheWalleyes.com. That's OAHE Walleyes.com for the best fishing experience Lake Oahe has to offer. Western Frontier Insurance. Agents that understand you, your needs, and the community. Whether you're looking for coverage on your farm, ranch, home, or auto, you can trust that Western Frontier Insurance will find you a combination of price and coverage that works for you. No fancy jingles, no talking boxes or animals, just good neighbors helping to keep you covered. Western Frontier Insurance. Offices in Hazen, Washburn, and Wilton. Rockin' 7W has all the panels you need. Freestanding panels, windbreak panels, feeder panels, and the original protester panel. If you don't know what that is, it's a sort panel that makes sorting calves from a cow a breeze. You can do it in a fraction of time with just one person on foot or horseback. You can custom order sizes to fit your current operation, or you can start from scratch. Rockin' 7W also does trailer repair on any size trailers, mobile welding, and custom cattle hauling. Call Justin at Rockin' 7W at 701-206-1030. That's 701-206-1030. Rockin' 7W, the farmer and rancher's go-to guy.
On that road, but don't you worry, one day I'll settle down. And when that time comes, I hope you're still around. I hope you're still around.
Welcome back, everybody. It is Dakota Prairie Outdoors Saturday edition. Good to be along across the Dakota Territory on many radio stations. Check out my daily program, Dakota Prairie Outdoors. You can find it on my website or just listen to any one of these radio stations, plus many more across the Dakota Territory. Trying to expand into Montana, but that's a tough bird to kill right there. Daryl is my guest here this morning, talking furries, mental health issues, and all of this leads to stuff that we see in the schools, and including the unfortunate events that happen sometimes around the areas. Now, we were talking about bullying. Jesse says he disagrees about bullying is done with words, because he should be able to tell anybody that he wants to. I agree with that. But what I'm saying is I think when I grew up, Daryl, bullying was physical abuse. That's what I feel that bullying is. Words are words. You know what I mean? And I know things have changed now, and people are really worried about what is said about them or anything. I guess my whole theory was when I grew up, bullying was different than it is now, I guess. So
bullying was when they pull your underwear up over your head.
Yeah. No, that was freshman initiation. Did anybody else go through this? I remember the seniors were able to do anything they wanted to the freshmen, especially the boys. Did you have to go through that?
No, I never had to go through that. I was actually in with the older crowd. I was good to go. So
I see. Well, anyway, I have one more text message come in. I know people who aren't animal rights activists, but they treat their dogs and cats like spoiled children. Drives me nuts. My wife's one of them. There's no doubt. All right, but there's a difference between I know the difference between my pet and what a human being. So I mean, there's definitely a difference on that. I just don't think that schools should. First off, we were talking about this during the break. I think you said it's a society problem. I also think The school board should be on this because one, any school system, public school system, should not teach animals. That's not their job. They're there to teach human beings. They don't teach cats. The school board should be on it. The parents should be on top of this. And I don't know. I mean, who else? Who else? Your friends, neighbors? There's some mental health issue going on if you think you're a cat.
Yeah, absolutely. It's we need to get to the root of the cause of all this, and it is. I don't even know where this was learned from. I mean, that's what I haven't went back and researched. Yeah, where did this originate? Where did this, it probably stemmed from some Disney deal. They've been glorifying animals and trying to humanize them for decades through Disney. But I think it's just, I don't know where on earth that anyone would think that is acceptable to any level of normalcy. It's just, we have a breakdown going on here. But I'll repeat it again, Scott. This goes back. This is part of the agenda of the animal rights people trying to equalize animals with humans. And when these things are going on, the animal rights community is going, we're winning.
Yeah,
we
absolutely
are winning.
They are. And when is it going to stop if we're looking at this now? I mean, and they're funded by so many people, and even some of the local conservation efforts, Daryl, if you look at who supports and sponsoring these so-called conservation, it's like World Wildlife Fund, Nature Conservancy type people, not agricultural friendly, or what I would say hunting friendly people by any means.
Well, and Scott, we can go even closer than that. As you well know, as I've pointed out to you here about 8 months ago, there are local, extremely local, originated locally in our communities, organizations that appear to be the help organization, but they're very closely attached to the animal rights agenda.
Yep.
And we've all gotten caught up at times going, oh, we got to support them. They're doing good work, but we don't understand that their underlying message and the messaging that they're taking and using, and they don't even realize it sometimes, I don't think.
Yeah.
I think these things start out that people do these in very good intentions, but they don't realize how they are being manipulated with messaging coming through them.
Yep.
And we're out of control. We're out of control with this whole, and I'm just going to say it, do-gooder mentality.
Yeah. Absolutely. 888-932-5682 is the phone number you want to call in and chime in on this issue here. 888-932-5682. I'd like to hear a parent's perspective. If you have a kid that has to deal with this furry situation, or maybe you have your kid is a furry, I'd like to talk with them. I'd like to, how that works at home, and I just don't get it. So until we get a phone call from that, let's move on. Successful Farming has released a story, very interesting to me. It's like an Airbnb for hunters. And I don't know if you've seen this or not. It's called land.lease. And if you type that into your search engine, land.lease, it comes up, and whether you're a landowner or a hunter, if you're a landowner, you can put your property in and say, all right, I'm in North Dakota. I have these type of species of animals. Now, people have to do their due diligence with the local game and fish to make sure it's legal for them to be able to apply, or if they can apply, if they're going to get chosen, however it works, doesn't matter. Interesting concept. I knew it was coming, but if you're a hunter, you can go and you can say, okay, I'm looking for deer in South Dakota from these dates to these dates, and it'll pop up. If somebody has entered their property, it'll pop up and say where you're at. Now, this is bigger in the areas like, let's take Texas, for instance, because down there you can do hog hunting. It costs $17 as a non-resident to go and hunt hogs. Very cheap, right? So, you can do different things like that. And that's where a lot of this kind of originated. But what's your take on this here is both on the hunting side and the landowner side? We're going to start seeing some people get a little bit pissy about this, because it's like, well, now you're just putting your land up and putting it to the highest bidder.
Well, so I'm gonna take this one step further. We actually met. NDFB had a presentation by a group, and that's doing this, but they're doing it across the board, not just hunting. They're doing it, just the weekend experience on the ranch, or the weekend experience on the farm, or bird watching, or just hiking out across, the Great Prairies, or wherever you're at. And I was very leery of it when I first heard of this a few years ago. But after the presentation from these folks, it's nothing more than a service.
Yeah.
It's a contracting service, a booking service. It's no different than a travel agent booking you a vacation to San Lucas or Cabo, or, wherever you want to go. So it's a pretty unique thing. The one we visited with, actually, if you sign up with them, provide you some insurance also.
Yes. Yeah. And according to this site too, they say that they have to be fully the insurance by the person that's renting. They have to have proof of insurance.
But see, this one also has some protection with it also.
Oh, it does. Very nice.
Yeah.
Very nice. Okay.
And so I think it's the, it's the new, here's the thing. And I'm just going to say this. Farmers and ranchers are great at producing, producing the product, the commodity that they have. We're some of the worst marketers of the value of what we have.
Producing is good. Promotion is not so good sometimes.
It's just the way, because, we're, for the most part, the people that get into farming and ranching and have over the decades and historically over the centuries of families that do this, they have a passion to produce. They have that's where they're at. And it's not a criticism to anyone. It's just that's been our weak spot. So if there's people that are able to help promote the value of what we have out here on the land, and there's people that are willing to come out and do this the right way, this is just another way to create that relationship we talk about, Scott, all the time.
So I'm gonna
these companies are helping create a relationship.
So after the break, I'm gonna come back with a devil's advocate on that, just to spark up more conversation, because I do agree with you. But I think there's one thing that we got to look into that I think scares some of these, especially the older generations. We'll be back more after these messages.
Western Frontier Insurance. Agents that understand you, your needs, and the community. Whether you're looking for coverage on your farm, ranch, home, or auto, you can trust that Western Frontier Insurance will find you a combination of price and coverage that works for you. No fancy jingles, no talking boxes or animals, just good neighbors helping to keep you covered. Western Frontier Insurance. Offices in Hazen, Washburn, and Wilton. Rockin' 7W has all the panels you need. Freestanding panels, windbreak panels, feeder panels, and the original protester panel. If you don't know what that is, it's a sort panel that makes sorting calves from a cow a breeze. You can do it in a fraction of time with just one person on foot or horseback. You can custom order sizes to fit your current operation, or you can start from scratch. Rockin' 7W also does trailer repair on any size trailers, mobile welding, and custom cattle hauling. Call Justin at Rockin' 7W at 701-206-1030. That's 701-206-1030. Rockin' 7W, the farmer and rancher's go-to guy. Piper's Western team of Andy Murdoch and Jim Sabby would like to invite you to sit down and talk about the future of land planning. Whether you're looking at selling, buying, or options to hand it down to the next generation, Andy and Jim will lay out all of the options for you. It's a great time to buy or sell, and with interest rates to make it profitable. Piper's Western team, Andy Murdoch and Jim Sabby. For more information or land updates, go to pifers.com.
Our outdoor heritage is important to North Dakotans, and the state's oil and natural gas industry is advancing the possibilities for conservation. The North Dakota Outdoor Heritage Fund receives up to $40 million per biennium from oil and natural gas taxes. The industry is reclaiming land for future generations, and it's developing our state's natural resources in harmony with our great outdoors and wildlife. North Dakota Oil and Natural Gas, advancing the possibilities. Brought to you by the North Dakota Petroleum Foundation.
it's every American's right to bear arms. At Mandan Sporting Goods, we're here to help you support your Second Amendment rights, which reads, a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Whether you're looking for a pistol for personal defense or collector gun, we have the staff to help you. We also have the area's largest inventory of ammo and reloading supplies.
Mandan Sporting Goods, the area's local gun and ammo specialists.
When it comes to picking the right financial institution that best suits your unique banking needs, we invite you to come bank with Dakota Community Bank and Trust. Recently named North Dakota's best small bank and Newsweek's America's Best Banks in 2021, we believe that community banking can blend both the past with down-home customer service and the future with modern banking conveniences and technology for our online and mobile customers, all while honoring our long-standing tradition of community-first oriented banking. Here at Dakota Community Bank and Trust.
MoPro Guide Service, the best on Lake Oahe. Brent and his staff will give you the most enjoyable fishing experience, always having the latest in electronics, gear, and the most comfortable Lund boat on the water. Fish with somebody who lives in Mobridge, South Dakota, the heart of Lake Oahe. If you need a place to stay, the Morest Motel has newly updated rooms with free internet, a family-owned and operated business. Go to OaheWalleyes.com. That's OAHE Walleyes.com for the best fishing experience Lake Oahe has to offer. Western Frontier Insurance. Agents that understand you, your needs, and the community. Whether you're looking for coverage on your farm, ranch, home, or auto, you can trust that Western Frontier Insurance will find you a combination of price and coverage that works for you. No fancy jingles, no talking boxes or animals, just good neighbors helping to keep you covered. Western Frontier Insurance. Offices in Hazen, Washburn, and Wilton. Rockin' 7W has all the panels you need. Freestanding panels, windbreak panels, feeder panels, and the original protester panel. If you don't know what that is, it's a sort panel that makes sorting calves from a cow a breeze. You can do it in a fraction of time with just one person on foot or horseback. You can custom order sizes to fit your current operation, or you can start from scratch. Rockin' 7W also does trailer repair on any size trailers, mobile welding, and custom cattle hauling. Call Justin at Rockin' 7W at 701-206-1030. That's 701-206-1030. Rockin' 7W, the farmer and rancher's go-to guy.
On that road, but don't you worry, one day I'll settle down. And when that time comes, I hope you're still around. I hope you're still around.
Welcome back, everybody, to Dakota Prairie Outdoors. Continuing here on a pretty decent Saturday here at the ranch here. As a lot of people might not know this here, Daryl is my guest here, but they know that. But a lot of people don't realize this, Daryl, that I've been able to, thanks to my rural broadband companies, having one gig out here at the ranch for many, many years, over 10, 11 years now. They've had the internet out here at that speed, which a lot of people don't realize it's been around that long. A lot of the shows anymore are done remotely. And during COVID, everything was done remotely for a lot of different things. But I was telling a lot of the stations, I said, next weekend, I'm trying to plan a weekend to go down to the hills, just take a weekend off. And I said, my show is going to be done remotely. And Todd's like, your show is done remotely every time, every day your show is remote. So
Yep.
it is true. That's how we do this right here. And actually you could have came up to my place because you're only about 15, 18 miles away. You could actually.
Yeah, I
come up
thought
here
about
in
that
studio.
too.
I forgot. Yeah. So anyway, discussing the land.lease, trying to promote, what do they call it? Agritourism, and hunters can go to this website and find places to basically hunt on, to lease, to hunt. And landowners can do that. You said it can be done for bird watching, hiking, biking, everything else. Some of the other comments I got when I did this story on the egg side of things, I had an email from one person say, you shouldn't promote this so much because I've been working really hard on my farm and trying to promote this as agritourism. Now everybody can do it. All they have to do is sign up. They don't have to put much work into it because a third-party company is doing this. And then you also have people saying, well, why would you want to bring all these outside city people onto your ranch, whether it's hunting or just horseback riding or biking, hiking, bird watching, whatever. It's just going to show more. It's going to give these guys the idea coming and trying to buy some of this land. And, and there's a lot of absentee landowners in the Dakota Territory that don't necessarily use the land. They just lease it out. How do you combat that?
Well, the last time I checked, we live in a free country, somewhat yet anyway. And here's the thing. If anyone's complaining that they've been working hard at doing this, guess what? This is another tool for you to use to promote what you've done. Because these people are going to come to a place, and if they enjoy the experience, if you've done a good job, if you've put your work in, guess what? You're going to get them to return again. If they come somewhere and someone's just doing this fly-by-night and it's not a good experience, they're not going to last long anyways.
Yeah.
And so this is another tool for someone that has been working on this. It's another promotional tool for you. It's like I said, it's no different than these resorts using travel agents as their salespeople. It's the same thing. If you've got a quality experience, use it. Help. Mm-hmm. It's a part of your promotional package. It's a part of your opportunities out there to showcase what you're doing. And when people come there, if you're doing it better than the next guy, they're going to want to return and they're going to tell their friends. We had an absolute great experience at the bottom of the hill ranch, and we had a hiking experience. We've seen some majestic birds and eagles that we've never seen that close before. If you've done a good job, you shouldn't be against something like this. You should be utilizing that tool is what you should be doing.
Yeah. How about the people that say we shouldn't be bringing city slickers out here just in case they want to start purchasing up local land?
Well, then we shouldn't sell hunting licenses to anyone that isn't a farmer or a rancher. Isn't that the same thing? Wouldn't that be the same attitude?
Well, that's where I was getting at. Is hunting going to be more of an Airbnb type of experience? I mean, some people are like, well, here we go. So-and-so put up all their land on this place, and now I have to go and try to and pay for it. It used to be free, I wonder how that's going to go over.
Yeah, you used to get water for free everywhere you went too. Now they charge you in the restaurant for water. So, I mean, I guess here's the thing, folks. You can either try and stand in front of a train, or when there's a tool available, it's a tool. They're not. This company is not coming out here and buying this land up and hiring people to put this experience on. They're offering an option for someone that wants to do this, someone that is currently doing this. This is another promotional tool for you. They're not forcing anyone to do this. I mean, and there's many farmers and ranchers that don't want anything to do with it, and that's fine and dandy and great. But there's some that do. Well, use it as a promotional tool. Use it as a, maybe this is the outreach type of thing that we need.
Yeah.
Maybe if we can get those people out there to the farm and ranch, and we can have that, discussion around the campfire, making s'mores after we just fed them a great steak. Maybe they can start understanding what rural life is like, and the challenges that are out there, because it's the one-on-one conversations. We can win every one of those, Scott, if we can get them.
Yeah.
I have never had a one-on-one conversation. Now, I might not have changed their mind 100%, but they've left with a little bit more appreciation and understanding, and they're going to be a little bit less vocal on the opposite side when they leave. That's a win.
Absolutely, it is.
And so I can win every one-on-one conversation that I have to some extent. I'm not saying I get 100% of the way down the pathway of converting or whatever you might want to call it, but I can win in helping slightly adjust the attitudes.
So a text message comes in, and here is another marketing strategy. I feel that they might. He said, I'd love to find a qualified individual that would pay me for the experience of planting corn for the next 2 days. Now, the tough part is qualified individual, but there are people out there. There's a whole bunch of college kids that are looking for internships, and you never know. Somebody, you post something like this, like, "Hey, I'll give you the experience of planting this corn, and you can come back this fall and help harvest it." You just probably never know. You might be onto something like this.
There's a world of opportunity out there, Scott, and I get a little upset with people that have that protectionist attitude about, oh, I pioneered this. I don't want anyone else doing this. Well, if you pioneer something, the biggest form of flattery is copying.
Yeah.
So if you've pioneered something, or you feel you've pioneered something and you've worked so hard at it, and other people are doing it, they've probably looked at you going, that is neat. They're successful. That, you know what? Wear that as a badge of honor.
Yeah. So
and guess what? If you're doing it that much better, you have nothing to worry about.
Absolutely. So on to the next subject. I was going to bounce around on a few things, but during the break, you were telling me how you're getting local grown beef into schools. Now, North and South Dakota have been doing awesome at this. There's no doubt about it. There's a $1.1 billion beef plant proposed for Rapid City, South Dakota coming up. I'm sure you know I'm sure you've seen the articles about this, which is exciting because I'm really curious to see how they're going to fight up against the big four guys. And so that'll be interesting. But South Dakota's been doing it. North Dakota's been doing it. Explain how you're getting locally grown beef. And dare I say, it would be awesome to get some venison into the schools as well. How are you going about this?
Well, it gets back to those one-to-one conversations. Last September, I started going and sitting down with administrators and cooks in schools, and started developing that. Our family, we bought into a little meat shop, and along with 5 other producers. So there's 6 of us producer-owned 6-in-1 meats in New Salem, and we changed that to a USDA facility so we can sell meat by the package. We can sell to schools, restaurants, food service industry, whatever. And I just went and started talking. And another, more down in this area down here, one of our partners in that 6-in-1 meat, Dunn Burgers up in Dunn County up there, they did it before we went and did it. And so took some advice from them on how they did it and kind of, modified it to help fit our situation. And it's the relationship, Scott.
Yeah.
Building relationships. That one-on-one conversation that I just talked about, that are we going to win every time? No. Are we going to start getting some information out to people? Yeah. Well, so we started selling in the month of September last year. We made our first deal. And now we've got a couple 3 schools that are doing it, using our product, not just our beef. We're selling our breakfast sausages into there. There's a lot of opportunity out there, and it's just developing that relationship. We didn't go in and give anything away. We're running a business.
Mm-hmm.
So we went in there and made a business proposal to sell them this local. I mean, and here's what I can tell them. I can say, I can give you, if you want to know where your food is coming from, and your school wants to know, and your cooks want to know, and your families of your students here want to know, I can tell you the tag number and the color and what the attitude of that animal that's in that tube of ground beef right there, if you want me to.
Well, not only that, but what a great class a trip would be is to say, okay, class, we're going to find out where your food comes from today. And they can take a trip out to somebody's farm or ranch and actually see how it's done.
Right. And that's part of the thing too. That's the next thing we're going to integrate into this is to hopefully get to the point to be able to do some of them farm tours or lyceum type things, or, and to offer that package. So you're offering an education package along with a great product, right? Yeah. And so, and it's all, is it easy? No. Is it more work? Yes. Is it rewarding? Yes. Is it frustrating at times? Yes. Welcome to life,
Yeah. Come on.
It's been a rewarding experience.
Welcome to life. I see some people there. They're cats, man. I mean, they have an easy life.
Well, yeah.
See how that ties
Sit and
back
lick your
together?
arm all day, I guess. But
I do that
But I
anyway
mean-
for different reasons. But
yeah,
so how, is this something that's going? Do you feel, especially in the school systems? I think it's important to have this locally grown, high quality beef that we have, or whether it's pork or poultry. I'm sure it can go in many different directions. North and South Dakota has everything that we need to be our own country. We don't need anything imported at all. We have everything. We have from turkeys all the way to oil and gas and coal and everything. We have that stuff here in the Dakota Territory. How do we get more into the schools? And is there a chance of putting venison into the school system? Maybe only if it's one day.
so there's some. I mean, okay, so here's the biggest issue when you start talking school lunches, and it's price points. Okay,
I'm sure
prices are the biggest restrictor, and you bring up a product that's not necessarily the cheapest product on earth.
Right.
Venison, elk, whatever, not the cheapest. And we're not, and I'll be straight up front, and I tell these folks when I go in there with them, I'm not going to be the cheapest price. You're going to be able to buy cheaper ground beef somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you do this in small scale facilities, you don't have the efficiencies of the mega 5,000 head a day facilities. Right. We don't have the opportunity to use what we have to consider as waste products. They market those and make some money per head. We got to do it all on the meat. We can't sell the tripe in the stomach. We can't do that kind of stuff because we don't have a market. We don't have enough of it for a market.
Right.
We don't have the capability of being able to afford the machinery and the equipment to process those type of things. So our product's going to be more expensive than what you can get in the commodity beef. Okay. But if you make a deal with the local guy, if school makes a deal with us, we're guaranteeing you that you're going to have your product. And we've seen the last year where the commodity beef products haven't been able to do that. They might order 300 pounds and get 150. And the next time they order 300 and go, well, here we got your extra 150 from last time we watched it, but I don't need it now. So I mean, it was all over the board. And here's the hurdle I got to overcome is the price difference. But at the end of the day, when you factor in that that dollar that you're spending from that school is supporting someone that's buying gas when they come to your place to drop off, chances are if you're buying truly, direct local, real close local, we're doing business with businesses that are paying the property taxes that are keeping that school open. So that dollar is generating back through and it's staying here instead of part of that dollar going to, Tyson and Nebraska or Long Prairie in Minnesota or, instead of part of that dollar getting diluted down, miles and miles away, that full dollar staying in circulation in North Dakota because I buy my feed in North Dakota.
Yeah.
My animals are either raised by us or we go and source them from local farmers that have the quality of product that we want to put out there. They're North Dakota animals. So that dollar is circulating for sure in North Dakota and more than likely centrally around where they're located with their school. So what kind of value does that have? You figure that value in. And then you figure in, if you're buying 85-15 beef, ground beef, 85 lean, 15% fat, the nutritional thing is the same for me as what you're going to get from the commodity beef.
Mm.
The yield ability may be different, so your net amount at the end is going to get us closer on price, and that has to do with a lot about how it's processed, handled, aged. And so if I'm taking more of the shrink on the front end, aging it, than what a lot of the commodity beef is, well, you're buying water weight there. Yeah. So when you take that figure into the equation, is it 5%, 7%, 10%? Now that price gets closer there too. So there's a lot of things. It takes that one-on-one conversation and that one-on-one dialogue to do this. And there's sometimes you just can't overcome that hurdle of the price, which would make it tough for the venison thing, would make it tough for the elk thing, is because of price. But for a one-day experience out of the year, I think there's an opportunity to do that. I truly think that because you tie it into an educational piece with it.
Right.
You provide something in addition to just the food product. And now it's got extra value.
So in 60 seconds, $1.1 billion billion state of the art, Rapid City, South Dakota, going to process up to 8,000 head per day. They're going to be able to, it's going to be tech driven here. It's going to be a lot less workers, more robotics. 60 seconds, is it going to work? Are they going to compete with the big four?
So they could compete with the big four. Where they're proposing to do it, I don't know how they're going to source 8,000 head a day. I think I love the idea. Here's the thing. I do not believe that we have to build 8,000 head, 5,000 head, 3,000 head facilities to compete. We can build smaller regional facilities. We can do, 500 head, 1,000 head type things and do them more regionally, have a better direct distribution. Part of our problem is distribution, Scott.
Yep.
It's the distribution world more than the packer world, I think, that causes our issues. Boy, do people disagree with me when I say that. But having studied this, having been involved now in the meat business and been studying this pretty hard for the last 8 to 10 years and been really intrigued with it and studied it even 25, 30 years ago. But I've really been studying this hard the last 8, 10 years. I've been involved now for, 4 years, 2 years where we've owned the thing integrated from front end to back end. Distribution is one of the things that causes us the most problems. And so, because you're competing with the likes of Walmart, Costco, and all them that control so much of the distribution. Who's going to get the product? Costco, Walmart, or a little grocery store in Bowman, North Dakota?
Yeah. Well,
Who's first in line?
Yeah. Well, Daryl, I appreciate you making time here today. Good luck at the auction today, and hopefully the Germans have a bang-up auction, because like I told Derek, I said, keep me in mind, because during those storms, I had a couple bulls that I can't find them. I know where they're at, but I'm not going to scuba dive for them. I'll tell you that. So thanks for coming on the program, my friend. And people have questions, comments about Farm Bureau. How do they get in touch?
You can go to ndfb.org or follow us on Facebook at ndfb.
All right. Thanks a lot. Ladies and gentlemen, Daryl East, North Dakota Farm Bureau president here. We'll find more information out. And if you have items of interest, you can always get in touch with me, Scott, at ndsupernet.com. Have yourself a great weekend. Thanks for tuning in. Eat some meat, drink some milk, and have yourself a dandy weekend. All right, stations, thank you. Daryl, appreciate you coming on, man. Thank you again.
You bet. You have a great weekend.
You too, sir. See ya.
Bye.
YouTube, you also have a good weekend and enjoy everything here. Thanks again for chiming in on a lot of things. I'll see you next time.